Welcome back to CT Chronicles. I am your host, Ratakgang Moroke. We've reached the end of the season. We've had some exciting suppliers join us during the season to have very engaging conversations. I hope you found it as useful as I did. But I do have another guest with me today. I've got our General Manager, Bonnie Smith, also known as my boss. Welcome.
Thanks, Rati.
So, Bon, this season we've had good conversations with our suppliers. Why would you say those relationships are important between us as a TMC and our suppliers?
Yeah, good question. The reality is, without the supplier support and content, we've got nothing to sell. Right? It's what the customer needs, and the customer needs us to bundle that together. So sitting down and having good relationships with suppliers, talking about challenges that we both face, that our customers face, and overcoming those challenges together is really, really important. So it's not just about having the content, having the airline, having the hotel, having the car. It's about being able to collaborate with the suppliers and being able to assist our customers and our customer needs through the TMC and the supplier, getting all of that content to them in one easy place.
So this season, unfortunately, we didn't have many airlines join us. So I think it would be a good conversation to have about what's happening in the airline space currently.
Sure. So interesting that they didn't join you, because that's probably the biggest impact and shift that we are seeing in travel at the moment. But not surprising, because they're probably so under the pump to make this shift. So customers might have heard about it, TMCs are definitely talking about it, airlines are talking about it, and it's the shift of how airlines distribute their content. Traditionally, we've always used a number of global distribution systems, and different travel management companies would partner with these different technologies, and that's how the airlines would load their stock into a system, and then globally anyone can look at what stock is available. What's happening now is the airlines want to take back the control of that stock, and they want to be able to distribute the stock to us in a different means. The part that's quite complicated is that each airline is investing in this technology differently, and not necessarily one global system. But what it means for the airline is, before they were blocked by these global distribution systems, saying you can have 12 price points and that's pretty much it, and however many seats you want to sell in those price points is up to you. Now, in this new system, they can have as many price points as they want, and they can really control the inventory. And why that matters is, flights that aren't full, they might lower their pricing, and flights that are full, high season, they'll higher their pricing, but they've got full control over what they do. The other thing that's coming up more and more is how airlines can add auxiliaries to different fares. So you're flying to Durban, you don't need a bag, you're not going to pay as much. But you need a bag added on. In the traditional sense of a global distribution system, that was very difficult to manage. It was the seat, and that was it. There was different fare rules, changes and cancellations. Now the airlines can distribute it to us and say, this is a fare only. If you want a meal, you can add it. So we've seen it come with low-cost carriers, and now it's actually coming with those bigger international airlines.
So NDC obviously has a lot to do with pricing. Are airlines flexible when it comes to pricing? Is there governance to it?
Traditionally, there has been governance, because they had 12 pricing points, 12 booking classes that you could essentially use, and then they would have to play with that. Now the airlines would actually be able to own that. So the governance would come from within the airline. We are still overall governed, airlines in the airline industry are still overall governed by IATA, International Air Transport Association, and there's set out rules in there that they would have to make sure that they follow. But in terms of how they price and how they want to price, really this distribution allows them to do what they want, which is good news. Good news for the airline, good news for us as a corporate traveller, and great news for our customer. Because what it could mean for the customer is, because you're a customer at XYZ company, you're always going to get a better fare, because the airline knows that you're always flying with them, or your company is always flying with them. So there's lots of different things that the airlines can do, but they would definitely have to have some governance within their own distribution and how they do it.
Okay, let's focus a little bit on routes. Any new exciting routes that our customers should be excited about?
There is a very exciting route. I find it very exciting. It's definitely a business more and family, I guess. They have launched the Joburg-Perth route, which is very, very exciting. One, it puts more capacity in the skies, and two, we know for business travelers, Perth's quite a big destination and it's been quite difficult. So that's really exciting. There's always small routes here, there's always an airline that adds an extra Cape Town, or there's obviously routes that hopefully some airlines will announce into Africa, but right now that's probably the biggest one for us.
And then obviously air travel contributes quite massively to carbon emissions. How do we partner with our partnered airlines to sort of manage that or report on it or anything like that?
So there's probably two pieces here, right? One is our customers need to know what is their carbon emissions, right? So we can do that at Corporate Traveller. We can make sure that we report on everything and we're able to give that to you. The second part is, what does the customer do with that information? We've partnered with Trees for Travel. We've got a few actually around the world, and they literally take your carbon emissions and then give you a calculation on how many trees you should plant, and then they go off and they plant them. So we do that as Flight Into Travel Group. Every time I fly, a tree is planted, and recently our global leadership team actually went to go and visit Morocco and see all the trees that we planted, which is exciting. But I think to the point is, the company needs to decide that. One, we can provide you the reporting. Two, you've got to make a decision on what you do with that.
What are the reasons that a customer might be denied boarding?
Oh gosh, we do deal with it daily. This happens. Silly things. So I don't have a page left in my passport. That's probably good to check that. We're laughing because that actually happened. You don't have 6 months validity. Everyone thinks that, oh, you'll get away with it, but you can actually get denied boarding if you don't have that 6 months validity in your passport. So a lot of passport issues. Then the visa. I've booked my ticket to arrive this day, but the visa actually only starts the day after. You've got to make sure you're checking that. And I think that's why it's important that you, as a business traveller, make sure that your TMC, whoever it is, has access to all of your documents so that your travel agent can actually check that for you. So a lot of things with visas, really the paperwork.
And I think you've highlighted on the importance of having a TMC to sort of manage that for you. Any parting words?
No, I think it's very exciting. It's great to always have our suppliers come on board with us and talk to us about what's happening in the industry. And I think it's exciting times ahead of us.
I think that's a good place to close the season of CT Chronicles. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And that's it. We are done with season 2 of CT Chronicles. I am your host, Ratahang Moroke. I hope you've enjoyed this journey as much as I have. And I hope to see you soon, maybe next season, I don't know. But please do share any feedback you have for us, good, bad, ugly. We're open to the feedback, and leave a comment, like, share, and we'll see you next time.